Hey there friends, welcome back to episode 2 of the Mod Tech Minute. As I promised before, I'm going to try and give you ways to use 3D printers in your classroom. I'm going to highlight the 3D printers I have and how I've used them to create awesome lessons for students that help them explore and then learn new skills at the exact same time. So, as you can see here, there is a top. Near the end of this, I'm going to show you the lesson for making the top so that you could use it with your kids. But first, as promised, let's talk about some printers. Alright, so this right here is the Makerbot Plus. It is the last printer that I obtained, and I obtained it using a grant. The first printer I showed you, the A8 printer, was only $150, so I was able to squeeze it into my budget. This one, not so much. These are more than $2,500. And what I did was I used a grant. If you have not looked, you need to find out if there are grants in your district. I use an awesome one called the WOEF grants. They have supported me so many times. I'll put a link to a video that shows all the different things they've offered me, but you cannot beat using grants to obtain the hardware for your classroom. The Replicator Plus uses Makerbot Print, where you add the devices and then you simply pick which kind of print you want. I chose a standard print. It's going to take about 48 minutes. And you can see here it has a video, so you could actually log on to the IP address and check out your print as you go. You can print from your phone. You can have multiple printers connected to one device that sends prints. It's pretty powerful and super simple if you're just getting started. My only complaint about the Replicator Plus is that it is almost impossible to print without using raft. So if you have any flat shapes, you waste a lot of plastic. It does print extremely well though, and right now I'm printing one of the tops that I showed you a moment ago in the intro, and once again I'll show you in the end how those files were created by the kids. Alright, this is the Replicator 2X, which is an experimental printer. Once again, cost more than $2,500, so I had to use a grant to obtain it. Really awesome printer, and I love it because it lets me print with ABS, which is stronger. One of the coolest things that I did was I made a mod where I cut a groove using a Dremel tool, and then I feed the filament from the top. This totally made it more fun to change colors. It allows us to try different things quicker. Feeding the filament from the back of the Replicator was a hassle, and as soon as the warranty was void, and I'd had it for more than a year, first mod I made, and I highly recommend being able to feed the filament from the top. It uses what's called the Makerbot desktop software, which I'll show you in a few minutes. It is handy, as is the Makerbot Print. There are a lot more settings that are easier to adjust on this printer, which I do appreciate. Once again though, $2,500 versus $150. You can learn to make this do everything that this one does. Just so you know. Alright, the last printer for today's review is the Replicator 2. Once again, you can see I ditched the feed system they had where you had to change from the back. It was an incredible hassle to reach around the back of this. I have now got a simple mechanism where I've got a metal bar on some silly wood that I built. Free. You just can't beat free. Feeds from the top, and it has been so effective I would not change anything about it. The printer is my fastest printer. I have to laugh. I was printing all these tops for you, and while I was recording those other chunks of footage, I came back and there was nothing done. I thought I hit print again and it was already done. It was on the bed. I knocked it off. So now I'm printing a unicorn just so I have something else to print while I'm talking to you. Once again, $2,000 plus. Had to get it with a grant, or actually I think this one I used a donor's choose. I had a wonderful donor that helped us get to the final part back when they were doing a deal with the Replicator Plus, or the Replicator 2. Other than the change in the way the filament comes in, I haven't changed anything on this printer. I never enclosed it. I get the best results with this printer, so I guess you'd say it is worth the money, and it does things right out of the box. But when you factor that A8 printer for $150 versus $2,500, if you can learn how to run your A8 it is going to be much more efficient as far as replacing, using, and making it function in your classroom. And this is what the Makerbot desktop looks like. This is a unicorn that I used supports in Mesh Mixer to make it so that it prints more effectively. It turns out pretty sweet, and I think this version I'm printing in white is going to be really, really awesome. I believe that this is my fastest printer. Prints that I put on here, like I showed you the top, they are finished usually before any other printer. The settings are quite easy to work with and make custom. I've really enjoyed using desktop. I'm learning to use Makerbot Print, but I'm not going to kid you, this is my favorite software other than Kira, which is so flexible and also yields good results. So as we close, here is the little unicorn that I printed. If I peel off that little piece, is actually quite good as well. Here you can see the top that I finished. It turned out pretty doggone awesome. This is the fun thing, is you learn what helps give better balance and how to make an awesome design. And you can see also sometimes printer failures jump up and bite you. But no matter what, keep learning. Hey, thanks for watching another episode of the ModTech Minute. This lesson is at the end of the video. I will have it linked so that you can see it. Once again, if you're a student in the classroom and your teacher doesn't have a 3D printer, you can aim them towards this video to help them learn how they could use it. In the comments, if you've got questions or other ideas for support, please share them. I'm happy to learn from you. I'm happy to share the things I know. So, if you're a company out there that has a printer that you'd like to see get some real-world testing, you can find us at hlmodtech@gmail.com or harmonm@westottawa.net, and we'd be happy to give your tools a little bit of a field test in our class. Thanks for watching. Keep learning.